words of wisdom for the kids out there?
Drink plenty of fluids on a hot day and get high in the music, not the drugs.
Welcome back, winners and losers. It's another edition of Take the Points. I'm your host, Fat Sam. With me here, as always, the world famous T-Bone.
Present.
And our enforcer, Joey Guns. Not present.
But accounted for.
Okay, so we're going to recap Week 8 real quick. Pretty good week. We had some pretty good picks. If you'd listened to Joey Guns last week, you're probably rich right now.
Very, very rich.
You'd be like T-Bone, carrying around a suitcase of cash. But let's get into how we did last week. We're not going to go over everything, obviously, but we'll go over with some of our main picks. So, T-Bone, let's start with talk a little bit about Vegas.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep, which we all liked.
We did, and the weather wasn't very good. There was a lot of wind going on that game, so ironically, the passing was very low. Derek Carr, a stellar 15 of 24 for 112 total yards, and yet Vegas pulled it out, winning 16-6. And I know a lot of people were on the Browns bandwagon, and to some degree I kind of bought into it, but at the same time it's still the Browns, and we just know that the Browns they're gonna beat teams that they should, and they're gonna lose to teams that they shouldn't. It's just the way it works. Baker Mayfield, again, 12 of 25, 122 yards. Just a terrible, ugly game. But at the end of the day, the Raiders pulled it out on the road, so it's a good win for them.
I read something today about how Gruden won that game, that it was coaching, that he had the perfect game plan for that. But 16-6?
16-6.
Not a very...
there wasn't a lot of scoring going on.
There.
Josh Jacobs, he had 128 total yards, no touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, same thing, no TDs, 66 yards. So a very low-scoring, low-production affair. But, hey, at the end of the day, they came out with the W. They covered. I'm all about it.
We all loved Vegas, and we all hated Cleveland, and
That's
that
it.
one came in.
Yep.
So moving right along, we're going to my lock pick last week. This one made me nervous, but it came through. I liked Chicago.
Yep.
I don't. Did we disagree on this or not?
No,
I don't think
we
we did. I think we were all on it, but I loved Chicago. I had it at +4.
It was an ugly win, though.
It was an ugly win.
Cover, I should say, cover.
They had cover, right. I'm sorry, it wasn't +4. Was it? No, it was. Yeah, it was +4. That's what I got that at. I got it +4. So, I liked him at home. Again, it's the defense. The defense is stifling. They did enough to keep him in the game. It came right down to it. Again, we've talked about the Saints, that they don't seem right. They should have lost this game.
Went to overtime.
It went to overtime, and I'm not surprised that the Saints pulled it out in overtime.
I was praying the Saints would not score a touchdown in overtime. I was like, please let this end on a field goal.
Game flow, though, it was exactly like I thought, close. Chicago played them tough. Again, Chicago has problems with that offense. But that was a game that I think last week I said I liked it a lot, borderline loved it, and I was glad that came in. But behind door number 3, our big winner from last week
for the
was
second week,
Joey Guns, parlay pick of the week, where he put two beautiful winners together. And if you had taken his advice, you could have been walking down a road of $100 bills, the yellow brick road to fame and fortune. But Joe, let's just review a little bit how you ended up last week.
All right, Sam, thanks a lot for that intro here. I want to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh game. And, as I was coming down to the end of the game, Baltimore was right there on the cusp of maybe scoring that touchdown down by 4. And I was starting to sweat a little bit. And then I remembered, hey, I got 3.5 points to work with here. And that's exactly why I believed in taking the points. So at that point, there was a few seconds left in the game. I knew even if they scored and went for the extra point, which they probably wouldn't do anyway if it was the last second score, but it was going to be either 2 or 3, but the 3.5 would still cover me. And then, with Miami, that defense just, wow.
Two defensive, yeah.
That was huge. And I actually had the defense in my fantasy as well, so really, really.
I had
helped
them
me
in
out.
DraftKings as well.
That was a good pick.
Yeah, that was like 30-point defensive performance. So, yeah, both of those picks, parlayed together. I mean, if I'd have had the guts to tell you to go money line, we'd really be in the money. But
You
taking
picked
the
well.
points was still good, and I think in the coming week I got another really good point. Take the points parlay for you guys, and I think it's gonna take that money that you won this week and just roll it on over because we're going on a vacation.
Whatever money you don't send to us, that's right.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I don't know if Miami can pull that off again because, again, 2 defensive TDs. Tua's stellar stat line was 12 of 22 for 93 yards. So, and compare that to Jared Goff, 35 of 61 for 355.
Oof.
And yet the score was 28-17 Miami. So, again, Miami, you call them at the right time for sure, but I don't know if they can pull it off back to back.
Well, T-Bone, I always like to take your advice on teams traveling. You're big on the travel.
East Coast, West Coast.
Travel
T-Bone knows
fatigue.
things
Travel
that-
fatigue is a real thing.
Yeah.
No mortal man should ever know.
Although this week on my picks, there may be a slight change to that, so we'll see.
We're looking forward to that.
All right, winners and losers, that's our recap for Week 8. Again, if you did well and want to send us some money, our PayPal is down below, and it's also on the screen.
Patreon.
If you want to be a patron, get all our picks, go to patreon.com.
Like, subscribe.
You got it all. And as always, check back, and we'll have our Week 9 picks ready to go for you here on Take the Points.